So guys, I know you might be wondering, where the hell have you been? Well, I've literally been making bread. But this isn't all that I'm doing. I've also been dealing with a bunch of other stuff, but I've got a video for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Today we're going to be removing a cylinder head from the BMW. We know we're shit. Yeah. Thanks for watching the Daily Drift. So guys, welcome back. I know I've been struggling with this decision on which engine to use. I don't know which one's best, but I think I came up with a solution, so stick with me. So if you guys remember where we ended last time, we managed to get the valve cover off of this. We took the oil pan off. We basically just checked everything to see how it was. I cleaned up a lot of the sludge from all the water that had been sitting in there. I turned it over a few times, and it seems to be okay. Problem is, inside here, there's definitely a lot of buildup and stuff, and I want to compare my engine to this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the valve cover off of my engine, take a look at what everything looks like, see if it's looking okay, and kind of compare the two and use that to kind of make a judgment call as to which one's better. My engine has 270,000 miles, which is a lot, but it's been well taken care of. It needs some head work. It's either going to be a head gasket, a valve, or something along those lines in that head. I know it's got low compression in 2 cylinders. This engine over here, we don't know the history of. My understanding, this engine came from an E36 that was in a wreck. It was rear-ended. I don't know the mileage, but I know it was running when it was pulled. That's all I know. I've just seen signs that make me think, is it really worth using this engine? And the fact that it had water sitting in it really makes me nervous. I mean, it came pouring out of the crankshaft. That's bad. So let's get to taking this valve cover off of this other one, and then we're just gonna keep moving from there. We'll compare the two, see what they look like, see if there's any signs of damage or wear, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So let's get to it. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this off. I got all the bolts loose. Let's take it off and see what we got inside. Hopefully it's nothing too surprising, but we'll find out here pretty quick. Look at this. Okay. Wow. That's a completely different looking inside. Dude, that looks totally different. Holy crap. Whoops. A little silicone right there, so this thing's been replaced before, so obviously this one was done properly. This actually looks really good. I don't see the buildup like what it is on that other engine. Also, this is missing from that engine. Kind of odd. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you get down in here, you can see that these lobes, even though everything's really brown, they're really clean. I don't see any chunks of dirt. I don't see any chunks of anything that shouldn't be on there. Now take a look at this. So we come over here, it's a different story. There's actual chunks on these lobes. If you can see in there, there's little deposits on this camshaft. I'm not sure exactly what that's from. There's literal chunks. And I'm not sure exactly what that's from, because you can see, I mean, it's throughout this head. You can see that there's little chunks everywhere. But then look at this chain, right? Chain's tight. That doesn't even want to come up properly. See, it's still got some slack in it, and it should be going all the way up. I mean, it's okay, but even look at the chain. Look at the coloration in the chain compared to this chain. This chain's probably been replaced at some point, and this thing actually, it's going all the way back up. Like, this is good right here. This is really good. And even though this has more mileage, like, you can tell there's less gunk in here. It's been taken care of. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna work on getting this cylinder head off and basically try to get it apart and see what it looks like inside. First things first, we gotta get it top dead center. I gotta grab my tool. So normally, if you have your transmission hooked up or a flywheel or something like that, you use this nifty little tool. It's a thing that BMW came up with, I think. It's basically just a really hardened rod, and you use it to basically lock your flywheel, because BMW was genius, and they actually have a spot made right into the block to lock it. let me show you where it is. So if you're looking at your engine, you can see you got your cylinder head up there, blah blah blah, dipstick, oil pan. Look at this little guy right here. So you see this little guy right there? Just gonna pop that out, and then inside this hole is where you would stick this pin. Now, I've obviously not put this up to top dead center. We don't even know where it is. So once I get top dead center, we're just gonna take this pin, slide it in there, and that's gonna lock the transmission in place, and it's gonna make sure that it doesn't move. Pretty cool thing that BMW did. I really, really like that. So yeah, you just need this little piece here. I'll put a link in the description where you can get it on Amazon. So yeah, and I'll get a little kickback from it. Not much, probably like 10 cents, but hey, every little bit counts. So let's go ahead and start putting this thing in top dead center, or at least as close to it as we can. We're just gonna do it the old school small block way with a screwdriver. Okay, so first thing, before I go, we're trying to rotate this thing, considering we don't know what all's in there. I'm going to add a little bit of oil into each of the cylinders. I already pulled the spark plugs, but I just want to make sure that there's no possible issue with... Basically what I'm trying to say is, I don't want these pistons being run dry, okay? That's all it is. So I'm just doing a little extra caution here. Might be a little bit much, but better safe than sorry when it comes to this stuff. So we'll just let that sit for a minute. So I hope y'all are having a better day than me. I mean, things could always be worse, obviously, but sometimes I always feel like I try to make things work, and you know, sometimes they don't work out, but I guess that's just life. It's just how things go sometimes. I don't know. Alright, so that stuff sat probably long enough. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to rotate this crank, and we're going to try to get this cylinder to top dead. It should be pretty close. Okay, so you can kind of see in there where the piston is. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to use that to basically see as I rotate this. It's going to rotate around, and we're going to see the piston come up, and we're going to try to find the compression stroke, and basically that'll give us to where we're at top dead center. We're going to use this and the mark here to kind of identify it, and then we're just going to try to keep it in place without letting it rotate. So let's get to it. Throw a little bit of oil on all the camshaft lobes just to be safe. I don't want to risk anything. Okay, so that is on the actual piston. So now we're going to go to the point where it stops moving. That should be close to top dead center right there. When you're doing this trick, you need to be very careful of this, not to let it hit the cylinder walls. Be very careful if you're going to do the screwdriver trick. But also when you go back here, these should be straight up. You can see that the squares are basically straight up and down. And that's so you can get the locking tool on it. So on the front of the engine block, you're going to have this little mark here. If I do this, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And it basically just says OT. You basically just want this line to match up with this line here, which is going to put this in line properly. These are going to be perpendicular, or perpendicular to the head, so they're straight up, they're square, so that way you can get the tool on them. And this is also at top dead because both valves are open. Both valves are closed. They're completely seated, so it's basically top dead center. Everything's seated. It's where you want it. So now we want to try to keep it there. Now for me, I'm going to be taking the cams out, so the process is going to be a little different. If you're leaving the cams in, you would use the locking tool to lock the cams in place. And I can show you how to do that. Just take a sec. Don't you just love when things don't exactly work the way you want them to? This thing needs a 6mm Allen key, and well, I have everyone except for that. You can see here, I've got myself a nice little 10, a 9, a 8, a 7, and oh, where's the 6? There's no 6. Oh, that's right, because it's missing. Where in the hell? I tell you, the one thing I absolutely love is looking for tools, because it's how I love spending every single day and every moment I have, because if I can spend every moment searching for tools, it means that I never actually have to fix anything. Where the hell did I put that little... And people wonder why I can't daily vlog. I spend more time searching for tools than I do editing. And that's a long time. Where? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I managed to find it. It was a little Allen key bolt. I found one. It actually fits. So now I can show you how it works. Okay, so it's real simple. All you do You got these two pieces. You got this one slot that's slotted open. It's pretty simple. Just gonna loosen that up if I can. All right, there we go. So you see there, got a little bit of play. And all we do is we slide these over the camshaft, tighten it down, and it should be good. Let's go put it on. First, we gotta remove these little bolts here, evidently. I like keeping everything in little baggies because it's easier. Normally, I would write on here what it's for, but I lost my Sharpie. All right, so now, should be pretty simple. All we're gonna do is slide this sucker on here. Should just wiggle on there pretty nice. Nice and neat. There we go. Bang, bang, boom. That's basically it. It's really simple. All this does is it just holds these cams in place, keeps them from rotating one way or another when we're messing with the Vanos and everything up there. Keeps the engine from turning, and normally you'd have that lock pin down on the side, and that would also keep it from doing it. But this is what you do if you're not removing the camshafts. I'm going to remove the camshafts, but I'll leave it in there for now because it doesn't really matter one way or another. So we'll move to the front of the engine and start tearing apart the Vanos. So, hell yeah. Okay, so now that we have everything tightened up, I got to get this thermostat housing off, and then I'll be able to start unbolting this, get this off. I got to undo the oil line to this little camshaft sensor thing. I don't know the official name, but you know, this thing, this little dingle-donger right here. So we're going to undo that, and basically we'll be able to pull this whole front plate off after that. So yeah, so I'm just going to get started. We're going to start pulling parts, and then we'll be one step closer to getting this head off. Well, I've got the problem where this thing is coming out like halfway and then it's getting stuck. And evidently it's a common problem, something to do with the exhaust side. So I gotta do some research and figure out how the hell I'm gonna get this Vanos unit off. Thought it was gonna be simpler than this, but obviously I'm missing something. So I'm gonna go find out and I'll let y'all know what I find. So evidently I was blind, didn't realize that I gotta take these two little suckers off. After I take those off, there's 4 sprocket bolts right in here. We're just gonna pop those out, and then I should be able to get it off. I don't know. Just gonna try it. We'll see if it works. If not, oh well. I just really want to get this head off today. That's the main goal. So let's do it. Okay, so what I had to do there to get this thing off is I took this cam tool, which it's going to be in that tool set that I put in the description at the beginning of the video. And basically all it does is it goes in this cam gear here, and I have to rotate it clockwise as I try pulling this out. It wasn't working very well, and I just kind of had to jiggle, jiggle, jiggle and try to get it out, and well, eventually it came out and it popped out. It's because these splines are like, they were just basically stuck on there. I don't know. So yeah, so this is kind of something else. But next step is I got to get this chain off, so that way I can actually go ahead and pull the head. So we're almost there. We're almost there. Alright, I think it's ready to go. Yep, there we go. Okay. So now, I've already marked this thing, so that way we've got the marks of where the chain is, kind of. And I'm going to try to just slide this sprocket out if I can without messing anything up. We'll see. Because I don't want to drop it down the hole, but... Whoa, Jesus. That's a bee. God damn it, I hate bees. So I ran into a bit of a problem. I need an E8 that's going to fit inside here, and the one that I have is too fat, so I need to go to the parts store. So, yay! Well guys, bad news is, it's way later than I planned, but the good news is, I got the piece I needed. Make sure that you guys get these really long, extended I think they're called inverted Torx. But either way, it's an E8 that you need on that piece. I had an E8, but it wasn't this long, skinny one, so hopefully this will get the job done. I'm starving, and I really need to get this head off. Once we get this bolt out, we're going to get the sprocket off. We're going to get the rest of these bolts out, and we're just going to keep rocking and rolling. So let's do it. Sometimes it's the little things in life that cause the biggest problems. I tell you, this thing was definitely a pain in the butt, but oh, thank you, Lord. It feels so good to finally have that off. All that for one little bolt. One little bolt caused all that strife. The good news is, hopefully after this, be able to get this thing off and be able to get the cylinder head off, and at least that's one engine that's ready to go to the machine shop. Well, almost. I also have to pull the cams, but that's going to be a different video on a different day after I've had plenty of food to eat, because right now I'm getting a little hangry. That's a long ass bolt. And now we can move that out of the way. And now we got room to pull this sucker off. One thing I don't know if I've mentioned yet, which I probably have a million times, my memory's terrible. I like to keep everything in baggies with the bolts. Just makes it easier for when it goes to put everything back together, because if I try putting this back together by memory, we're not going to have much of an engine because my memory is terrible. Alright, so another thing, I marked the chain with a Sharpie. Who knows how long that's going to last? I don't think it really matters because I'm taking the cam off. But just in case if you were not taking the cams off, you can mark the chain. I don't really care if it falls off. My oil pan's unhooked anyway, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, literally just going to take this. I'm going to hold on to this chain and try to manipulate this sprocket out. Just like so. And bam. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to get a zip tie or something to hold this up and out of the way. Need a zip tie. Well, this is very difficult to do because I'm afraid to let go and lose this thing. Set it on there. Okay, so that should hold the chain for now, just to kind of keep it out of the way, because I still got to undo all the head bolts, and before I do all the head bolts I got to make sure this chain doesn't drop. I guess it doesn't really matter for me because, again, the oil pan's not even on, so whatever. There's a shitload of bolts that we got to get out. There's a specific way to put it on, not really a specific way to take it off, but I'm going to do the traditional inside out snail pattern. And yeah, but there's a special tool you'll need. So the special tools you're going to need are simple. A big ass breaker bar and this nifty little thing. It's basically an inverted 12, I think it's a 12? Yeah, it's a 12. E12, but it's a thin wall, so you'll be able to stick it in here and get to the bolts. It's kind of a pain. There's a shitload of them. We're going to make sure we get rid of all of them, loosen them all up, take them out. But there's also two that are hidden up on the front side here you don't want to forget about. They're real easy to forget because sometimes they're covered in oil and you just can't see them and whatever. These we got to get out. So I'm gonna start loosening all these up and work on getting this head out. I'm really excited because it means I get to eat soon. If you haven't noticed, I do a lot of things for food. Like everything I do revolves around food. So usually when I get done with doing some project like this, probably gonna go get food. That's just because, well, I'm a fatty at heart. Okay, that's all it is. I'm gonna get started now. This little tool here, it's just a freaking magnet. This thing comes in really handy when it comes to pulling those bolts out. Really glad I had this. I didn't plan on it, it just worked out nice. So I think now we're at the point, all the head bolts are gone. Got them all in this baggie. Doesn't really matter because they're not reusable. They're torque to yield, so these are pretty much as good as trash. So RIP bolts. And what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna get somebody to come and help me. I think you might recognize him. And we're gonna have him hold the chain. It's Austin. Austin's gonna hold the chain. He's gonna help me guide it through as I lift this up, and we're gonna pull it off, and then we can call today a win. We're back. Austin's here. He's here to help out.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. All right, we're good.
How heavy is it?
It's aluminum, so it's still heavy. Holy Jesus. Oh, this thing's fucking got some weight to it. What's going on back here? Oh, I'm an idiot. There's a bolt. It looks like it's not organized, but it is.
A creative mess is always preferred to an idle neatness.
Wow, that's a good one. Who said that?
I don't know. It was on at Cecilia's neighborhood. Whenever you drive in, there's a billboard kind of thing where it's like for the neighborhood, and it either has announcements or a quote. And I love the quotes because all of them are always really good. I like to imagine in my mind that it's like some old man that goes out there with his time and puts these quotes on there to help brighten people's days.
It's definitely a good quote.
It's rotating over here.
You know what it is? It's probably just those the dowel pins are probably just on there really good. Yeah, because it's not even...
Yeah.
It's just the dowel pins. I'm just being a little baby back bitch.
You want to just yank it?
That's all it is.
There you go, yeah, you're getting lift over here.
Ooh.
That's okay, that's supposed to come off. I hope.
Yeah, it's got to be the dowel pins.
If you want, I could give a little knock right here.
Oh, okay,
There
we're
you
free.
go.
Okay. So now... Oh, this thing is heavy.
Here, I can help lift.
Okay, so, well, what we got to do is get the timing chain to come through. It's just awkward because of how tight it is.
Now you want to grab
And
the chain.
hold the tension on the chain and let it fall through.
Let it fall through?
Like the top, do you have the bottom? Keep
Yeah,
the bottom from
I got the
falling.
bottom.
Let go of the top. It's the only way I'm going to be able to get this
Oh,
off.
I see what you're saying. I got it.
Okay, alright.
Dude, there's coolant in there. You got
I'm
it?
leaking oil everywhere.
But do you have it? You
I
good?
have it. Whew.
You okay over there?
It's fucking heavy. I don't know how much oil I'm losing right now, but whatever. It's off. Whew. I can feel.
I feel like the world's worst cameraman right now.
That's okay. It happens. Trust me, because I intentionally put. Oh, great.
Ink additive?
And I'm setting this in here so it doesn't fall. Okay, so I put the 30 weight,
Oh, yeah.
and it has a slightly green tinge to it. Look at all this shit in the cylinder, dude. But it's universal. It's all the way across on all 4 cylinders.
Do you think water was sitting there?
I don't know. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to look like. Look, you can see there's some...
Maybe we're stupid and it's supposed to look like that, but I don't think so.
I don't know. OEM head gasket. So the head gasket's never been replaced, so... But to be fair, the head gasket was okay on this one. So minus the fact that I've got oil all over my garage now, it was actually pretty successful. We got the whole thing out. I don't like the way that the top of those pistons are looking. There's some nasty ass stuff in that block. So guys, as I was saying, my camera memory stick filled up from all the filming I've been doing. And it feels good to be filming, by the way. But because of that, I ran out of time. I had to go to the gym. I went to the gym. I worked out. Yada, yada, yada. Here we are. It's about midnight, and I got to finish this video for you guys, so I got to do the outro and show you guys just what the pistons look like and everything else. I know we didn't get the cylinder head off the other engine, but I don't want to show you the same exact process twice. If I get it done before this is edited, I'll be sure to show you basically what that engine looks like. That'll probably be what we do tomorrow. We'll figure it out. We'll get it as we go. But here's this engine. Let's take a look at what we got. And what we have here is a lot of garbage. Now, mind you, this is oil that I put in there. It looks a little green, but that's just the type of oil. It's like dyno oil. But this is what I'm worried about. You see all that carbon buildup? That's really, I mean, it's not terrible, but this here is the spot that I'm worried about. This ring, this little ring of deposits that we have on the top. I don't know if that's normal or not, but it's on every single one. There's some level of buildup on that edge. And I don't know exactly what it is. You can see this piston's kind of nasty too. But like on this edge, there's almost like a ring. You see that? Well, this one's got corrosion. You can see right there, look. So you can see there's actual legit corrosion. These ones look okay. That's not okay. That looks very bad. Who knows what the other ones look like? I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I got to decide, but it doesn't look pretty. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to bring it to the machine shop and have them tell me what they think about it, whether or not it's okay or if it's beyond what I'm needing to do. If that's the case, it means that, well, it would require pulling the pistons and re-ringing it, and I'm not putting that kind of money into that. I'm just not, because that's just not the plan. If I was going to do that, then, well, we may as well just turbo the bitch at this point. We'll hold on to that thought. Long story short, that's all I'm going to get done today. It is well beyond my bedtime. It's been a long day. It's been a great day. Mission accomplished. We got the cylinder head off. And I'm just going to take it for what it is. It's a good day. Tomorrow's going to be better. Because tomorrow I'm meeting my family at IHOP in the morning for breakfast. So it's always a good day when I started off with some IHOP. So guys, I hope you all had a great day. I hope that this video was fun for you. I hope it was entertaining. If it was, hit that like button. Helps me out, helps Austin out, helps our channel grow. You know, the more it grows, the more likely we'll be able to keep doing this more frequently. My goal is to eventually get to where I can do this daily. Once I figure out how the hell normal YouTubers do it, because here it is midnight, and I just finished one video, and I haven't even edited this yet. It's a little tough sometimes. Not complaining, just saying. I'll see y'all in the next one, and have a great day.
Man, it feels good to be back. Good news is, next time we're going to be pulling the camshafts from the cylinder head, so if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with the build.